Welcome back to another episode of the Work It podcast. It's Tiffany.
And Gerald, your host, and we are here to talk about work.
Yes. So Gerald, something that I found really interesting about you, which I think a lot of people don't know, is that you use your Skills Future credits to take up a certain course. Do you want to tell everybody about that?
Yes, I did. About 5 years ago, I used my credits to pick up some plumbing, aircon refrigeration, and electrician work. Training in the ITE.
Why?
I was moving houses. I was moving to an older HDB, and then there's a lot of work that need to be done. So I wanted to make sure that I knew the basics. My wife would see me looking over the toilet bowl most of the time. Like, how come there's
Not looking at her, you look at the toilet bowl.
Yeah, the toilet bowl. How come there's a dripping sound? I hear this dripping sound. It's very irritating, So I'll be like fiddling around, trying to move the thing around a bit. So to try to troubleshoot myself.
Yeah.
And really, when it gets bad, like the thing becomes spoiled.
Then that's why
I
I
call the professionals.
the Ghostbusters. So at the end of the day, the trade craftsman, that industry is one that no matter what happens with like AI or whatever, I feel like that is something that will never ever, die. Like it's an industry will never die.
It's evergreen.
Correct.
You're going to need it with more houses, more people setting up their own families.
Yeah.
There's always going to need to have people coming in to provide them some trade, some repair services.
Yeah, like your plumber, your handyman, and your electrician, even your locksmith.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we are seeing that right now, there seems to be a small resurgence. Younger people seem to be interested in this. Yeah, I remember like the times where we used to call the repair people come in. They're like those old uncles.
We'll call, hello uncle, can you come and help me?
Yes.
Now it's like, oh hello, boy.
Yeah, it's like first thing you wonder is like, are you experienced or not? Are you going to make a mess for me?
Right.
Yeah, not quite the usual that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Right. So I think if more people are going to go down this path, more younger people, then I wonder what makes it appealing for them, and also what are perhaps some considerations that they might have, right?
Yeah.
So today we're going to find out from a pair of brothers who live and breathe this craft of trade skills, and also what they did to do a business and created this huge business empire for themselves. So let's welcome Zames.
Hi, nice to meet you, Gerald.
And also his younger brother, Amos.
Amos. Hi.
They have their own handyman business called Repair.sg. So welcome to the show.
So Zames, I want to
Yes.
start with you first. You're in your 20s. You started your business when you were 16.
Yes, I did.
Okay, bring us back to the moment when you decided that you were going to do it.
Sure, so I started when I was 16 after my O-levels ended. I entered Polytechnic, so that starts in April. O-levels ends in November.
Yes.
So there was that 5-6 months that I was kind of just doing nothing. And so I wanted to just do something.
Yeah.
So ever since my brother and I were young, we've always enjoyed solving problems with our hands and our minds. So like doing things like Legos, taking things apart, building computers and things like that. So I thought, why not try to fix things like lights and like do simple handyman work and things like that?
Okay.
So we decided to we built a website. We didn't know where that would go. We just wanted to get something out there. A few people started contacting us, and we were like, okay, I guess let's just try to make this work. We started very much like how Gerald does a lot of repair at home. We looked at YouTube videos. We kind of just tinkered with our hands.
What was the first thing you repaired at home?
At home, definitely. I believe it was a light, right? I mean, it's just a simple light.
Okay.
I think things that even anyone else could do.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I just confessed. I don't think I can.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So we did lights. The first thing that our customers contacted us with was it a furniture assembly job? Something simple
I think
like
it was
that.
a doorknob, actually.
It was a doorknob.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think it was a doorknob.
Wow, that's quite high level.
Yes, high level.
So the day where Zames said that we replaced our first light, I think
Yeah.
we were on a spree or something. We replaced the doorknob on the same day in our house. And then afterwards, like
Went out
our
to-
first ever job, it was like I think it was at like a relative's place or something.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yes,
Did you
yeah.
charge for that one?
No, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't.
So I just want to backtrack a bit, right? What made you decide that, hey, this is a good, I think we can do it? I mean, was there a moment that you felt like, what if I cannot repair? Then how?
Then you just fail, you just run off.
we definitely preface it by saying that, okay, look, we're just starting this out. Like, if we do mess up, we'll definitely make it right. And I'm not here to, we didn't charge for a lot of our initial services. We were like, we want to try this out. We are young. I'm not going to pretend that I'm some experienced uncle that's been doing this for 30 years, but we want to try this out. If you're willing to give us a shot, let's do it.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is a very smart move.
Yes.
Really smart move because for me, right, like some of my friends who ask me, can you come and take a look at this? I was like, no. Because I'm afraid I'll mess up. Right? I don't want to make things worse for you. So I will do for my own house because it's my own mess, right? But I wouldn't want to do for someone else. So for you guys who want to do this for someone else and being humble enough to say that I don't know, but I'm willing to try if you give me a chance, and then use that to kind of clock the mileage, right? The experience points. Oh, fantastic.
So at which point did you say, okay, we have to start charging and stop letting these relatives take us for a free ride?
Well, we started charging like about 6 months in.
Okay.
We didn't charge very much. If we had all of the resources that we had now, like a van and rental, things like that, we wouldn't have made any money. In fact, we would have lost a lot of money on those prices that we charged. But it was quite some time before we really charged proper rates, because in the early stages it was very much a hobby and more of something we wanted to do for fun, like as brothers, like a little brotherly project rather than a full-blown business that we wanted to like build and become an empire, things like that.
Wow, that's crazy. Like most people will say, me and my brother, we're just going to go traveling together. These guys are like, let's build a business empire.
Or play Catan at home.
Let's build a business, right? And then see how far this goes. Amazing.
So you were 16 at that point of time, and then you say obviously you weren't buying like vans and everything like that. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you can register a company when you're 16, right? You're underage, right?
I was.
How do you register a company?
My father did that.
So you need to still go like, Daddy, can you please?
Yes.
What was your initial cost?
There was no startup capital. It was very much just, we bought like some tools from the hardware store nearby.
And your dad didn't like ask you, why you want to do this? Well, study lah, go take on something different. Why do you want to go down this route? Did your dad not speak to you about
We've
that?
always been like doing little projects as brothers since we were young. So I think our parents saw this as more of like another thing we were doing. They didn't dissuade us from doing this, but definitely they wanted us to still pursue our education, get a degree, and maybe do this on the side just for fun.
Yeah.
Amos, when Zames told you like, hey, come and join me at that point of time, did you did you have other things that you actually really wanted to do?
I wouldn't say so, because we did everything together since young. So be it like business related stuff or non-business related stuff, we were doing everything together. So honestly speaking, like back when we were in school, we didn't really hang out with our friends. So it's like,
it was just you guys just had each other.
So we always liked the idea of doing something for ourselves.
Okay, tell us the truth. Were there actually things in the house that didn't need fixing, but then you guys just hand itchy, or that you are both nodding your heads?
Not just that, but we broke it and then we didn't know how to fix it. So
why the light switch not working?
I don't know.
They changed.
How come the lever supposed to be this way? It's on. How come now it flip?
It's always been like that. I don't know. But yeah.
Our parents are quite chill. Our
they're
parents
chill.
are quite chill.
They're chill.
Your parents
Especially
sound
our
really
mom.
cool.
They do.
They're very supportive, very understanding, and they could see, I guess, the potential that their children had.
The different pathways to success.
Yeah, come on, don't just pigeonhole them into like this is the only way to succeed, but look at what they have. The potential that both of Zames and Amos had from young it was very clear.
Yeah, most of us have been brought up in an environment where, we associate, with a corporate job with higher pay, quicker career progression, promotions, jumps, and then when it comes to blue collar work, while we all don't deny the fact that it's important, the idea is that starting pay very low, or you may not be able to rise up that much. How do you make that case to tell people that actually there is some form of like career progression?
Definitely the starting is lower, but what I've seen from my friends who have entered the space and stayed in it is that it is not really a case that they're trying to maximize their money potential, but rather their sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
We enjoy the space that we're in because we like to be moving around, we like to be tinkering with things, we like to be not in one place every single day of the week. So when you take into account the amount of fulfillment, the fact that you can work on a passion, in combination with rising wages, which are not quite there yet, but are getting there eventually, hopefully, I think there's a good case for taking a path in the blue collar rather than the white.
Yeah, I think what they just described is their what you call like their vocational personalities. Like when it comes to work, what they prefer to do, right? They are very clear. I think there's a very distinct understanding of what is it that they enjoy to do, like solving problems, repairing things, and they get to do that, right? And the money is it's important, it's important, right? But it's something that is accompanied. And as you do this a bit more and more, you will realize that the money will come. Eventually, you will catch up. It's not that we...
But it might take a bit longer though, you know.
Yeah.
Do you also think that maybe it could be a situation where if you are younger, you have fewer debts, maybe you try, you know, you can do this, but then, you know, maybe you're older, you might want to start a family, you might buy a place of your own. Do you think that will sort of like change the way you view, you know, this idea of like just getting career fulfillment now?
I would say so. Okay, but the thing is that even if like you're in a later stage of life, so there's this term called side hustle, right? You have your weekends, you have your Saturdays, your Sundays, you have your after hours that you can. I wouldn't necessarily say it must be something that you're trying to make money from, but it could be a hobby as well, like it was for us. I guess the good thing for us is that we started young. So we had a lot of space to sort of fail. We had a lot of time to try different things. But I would say even at a later stage of life, don't look at it as I have a lot of stability now, I'm not going to explore anymore. If you really want to try something, you should really go for it.
Yes.
There is a lot of fulfillment in doing what you really love, which is what we get to do every day.
I love what Amos said, man. I really love what he said, because as older people, what I often realize is when they are talking about the careers, a lot of the conversation goes into lost dreams. Or like, I used to do this. I used to make music.
I wish I
had done that,
pursued this.
but I cannot now. Right? But they are stuck in another lifestyle, a different set of obligations. But like what Amos said, it's important for us to remember that we need to find that space for ourselves, right? Because if not, then it's just going to be this side of us that is just sleeping or maybe even dying, right? And if we get to do a bit of that, I don't know, it could even feed into our typical job so that we feel more engaged.
Yeah.
So hobbies, very, very important. Curiosity, hobbies, exploration. As we get older, we need to find the time to do that. Yeah.
Your parents are very supportive, and you know, one day I would love to be able to meet them and tell them what a good job that they have done. But were there maybe say older adults in your life, you know, who actually give you sort of negative a negative feel about the fact that like, oh, why are y'all doing this? Why choose a path that is so tough for you?
It wasn't really from like a relative or friend, but it was actually some of our customers, especially like the older ones. They I mean, a lot of generally older people, they like to impart some life wisdom, which is good. Definitely, because they have a lot of experience with life. But there was one that really stood out to me, which was I was together with one of my guys, and we were replacing a toilet bowl. And I was having like a chat with this uncle. So this uncle was staying in a very big bungalow house. And so, funny enough, he was actually in the contracting space as well, but he ran a big construction company. And he asked me like what my plans were in the future. I was like, I intend to do this with my brother for a long time. We want to take care of the properties of as many customers as we can in Singapore. And then he's like, do you want to like build buildings, or like do you want to like do large scale projects? I'm like, not necessarily, because we don't really find a lot of fulfillment in that. We prefer doing jobs which are like always changing. We can always learn new things. And me and Zames, we always have this thing where it's like, in the morning we're like, let's go, like sort of take on every challenge we have. So it's that sort of the feeling which we really enjoy. But this uncle, I shared that story with the uncle. The uncle was like, if you really want to go far in life, you can't just do the small jobs. You need to do the big stuff. He gave me an example, which was in 30 years time, you're gonna be stuck here in a customer's house still changing toilet bowls. Do you want your life to be like that? And that one really stuck with us, because 3 years ago our business was not, say, doing very well.
You were just taking off, right?
Yeah.
We were taking off, and we also did have a lot of financial troubles as well. We we didn't really make much money. We didn't have any savings ourselves as well. So that one really stuck with me. And that evening when I went back, I spoke with Zames. I was like, this uncle said this. What do you think about it? And he gave it some thought. He was like, let's just see how it is. So that one really still stuck with us today. I mean, I'm glad we didn't really make a lot of changes with the direction with our company, because I believe whatever we were doing back then is still sort of the things that we are doing now, and I'm glad they have stayed that way.
Yeah. How big is your company now?
We have 22 people now.
Oh, okay.
Then revenue-wise, we're hoping to end the year about 3 million.
Wow.
Wow, good job, guys.
Thank
I mean,
you.
starting from, a 16-year-old who had to get your dad to help you to register your company.
And doing those free
and
gigs
free
along
gigs
the way.
for 6 months.
Now you're a
You're
business owner,
hoping, yeah.
22 people, 3 million almost revenue.
Yeah, and 9 vans, right?
9 vans. We got the last one yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
wow, congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But to answer the question that the uncle had, I would love the freedom to be able to be doing this in 30 years.
Yes.
So,
yes.
because while we don't go out as much as we used to, it used to be 6 days, sometimes Sundays when we had to, morning to night. Then just through the night, we would then be replying to messages, replying to emails, drafting quotes, things like that. We don't do a lot of that anymore. But when we have a free day, what we always do is just, what jobs are available, let's just go for them. Because we enjoy that. We enjoy that.
Right. Okay. I ask you to come my house.
Can. Sounds good.
No problem.
For a lot of what they're saying is that the thing that they're doing is not grunt work.
Yes.
It's like their passion work, right?
Yes.
It's like what they really enjoy. So when people look at them and say, why are you working so hard? We are projecting our own ideas of what success or what comfort looks like. But to them, maybe sitting in the aircon environment with a computer and just typing away in an email, it could be sucking the life out of them.
Yeah.
They'd rather be in a hot toilet, looking at the toilet bowl, trying to figure out how to repair the thing.
Correct.
So it's really subjective, right? This thing about good and what is impactful.
Yeah.
It's really something that we ourselves need to find the meaning and the passion in. And it sounds like you guys have found it.
I'm very glad that we're having this conversation because it's also talking. It gives me a sense that even with a younger generation,
Yes.
there is a mindset shift. That maybe it needs to stop at this generation where we see it as grunt work, where we see it as very laborious and then low pay, low wages, kind of work, right? And in fact, we found out that the BCA plumbing certification course in Singapore is actually oversubscribed.
It is.
So there are a lot of people who, whether they want to use it as their full-time job later or whatever, that they are interested in like a handyman kind of knowledge and skill. So do you feel that more younger people are interested in what you do? What is the average age of
Something
your
like 50s.
workers?
Oh, my worker is
30s.
30s. Early 30s.
So that's very young.
Wow, very young.
Yeah, so it's not we've gone past that stage where these fields are very much dominated by only the older workers, right? So you do see younger people.
Definitely.
coming on.
And even for the course that you were speaking about, I completed that 2 years ago. And even 2 years ago, it took me a year to be able to enroll because there was already a queue
Waitlist.
back then. Yeah.
Right. Oh.
And also, almost everyone that was in the course with me was around or under the age of 30.
Wow. And do you know whether everybody made it into the business itself, or they just learn to acquire, like me, just learn to know only?
A lot of them ended up in a career where they at least used some of the skills.
Wow, okay.
And I would say perhaps half of them intend to pursue the license, which takes 2 years after the course of experience before we can apply for that.
We were talking about this before we started recording, and that all your prices are listed on the website, and you guys make it as transparent as possible so that customers will know what they are getting in for. Why do you think you decided to go with that method of communicating your price list? I have to get a person come in, assess a situation.
The way we looked at it is a lot of the current service providers see their job as sales, trying to go down to the customer's house and then sell as much as possible. For us, we try to cement what we do in the value that we provide. And we don't want to go there to provide a service where the customer doesn't see the value.
You mentioned site assessments as well. So traditionally, what a lot of businesses do is that they would say, okay, I will have to come down for a site assessment to give you a quote for everything, and then I'm going to charge you like a transport fee for it. For us, what we try to do is that we have a team that's trained to help customers take pictures, take videos of their issue so that we can understand it better. And if we can give them a quote through, let's say, WhatsApp or over the phone, we would do it. And we would rather do that as well because a lot of homeowners, a big issue they have with contractors is sort of them thinking that contractors are sort of like slashing them. We believe that it's every homeowner's right to be fairly quoted, or at least given an estimate first before we come down. And then once we come down, at least once we do the works, the customer would be like, okay, I expect to pay this amount, I'm going to pay this amount.
We want to build a team of competent technicians, not competent salesmen.
Yeah, there you go.
Ding! That is the quote of the day.
Yes. So you're not just repairing
Yeah.
toilet bowls or plumbing, but you're really repairing, the ethics of the business. You're really trying to make this whole industry a lot more transparent, honest, providing value.
Definitely.
That's good on you guys.
Thank you.
What advice do you think you will want to give young people who are thinking about starting in your industry?
I would say generally there's a lot of resources out there nowadays. You have we learned a lot of our stuff from YouTube.
Oh,
So YouTube.
great.
And ChatGPT as
And
well. Sometimes I
ChatGPT
like
as
take a
well.
picture like, what is this thing?
See, young people use AI. Very good.
So I would say if you're genuinely interested, just try to do things, and for us, a lot of what we did at the start, we did it for free, and we always look at it as sort of the price to learn. It's sort of like lessons for us. Be it our business or be it any business, you will suck at a certain point, and it's usually at the start, right? So you don't want to be charging for services that you suck doing. So what I would tell anyone who's aspiring to join our space is just try it out, and just remember that the ones who succeed are the ones that create genuine value. So at the end of the day, it's just all about learning. It's all about becoming better, and yeah, just keep doing. Don't
Yeah.
have to think so much. Just put yourself out there.
One other thing I'll add on is you don't have to do it alone. You can have a brother.
If you have a brother that you like.
If a brother that you like, yes, or even a friend, right? Because sometimes when you go at this together with somebody else, the journey seems a lot more fun.
Throughout the course of this conversation, we keep hearing the word value.
Yeah.
Right. So the value of work to you guys, what is the value of this job? It's not just something that brings home a paycheck, but it's something that you can offer, something that you can learn, something that you can grow as well. And it's also the value that you bring to the customers. You want to make sure that, everything's as transparent as possible. You give good value to people. We definitely wish both of you, all the best in this empire
you.
that you are building.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming and sharing with us your story.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
us here.
Yeah.
Well, today's question was sent in by our listener, Candy. So someone in Candy's team was recently promoted to become their boss. Let's call him Brian, okay? Now, Candy says it's obvious that Brian doesn't want the job, and he's a reluctant and uninspiring leader who prefers to take orders from higher management. Brian's boss even told the team privately that they should all try their best to boost Brian's confidence and praise Brian occasionally. I mean, excuse me? But Candy loves her job and her colleagues. And she's asking, how do I work with a boss that requires managing in the hopes that they will become a better one? You and I are just like...
You got me at excuse me, right?
Yeah.
Because like Brian's boss, what's happening?
Yeah, Brian's boss, what is wrong with you?
It makes me wonder about like how did Brian even get to
there.
where he is at? And he's a replacement, right?
Yes, he's the
Okay.
replacement. So it sounds like they wanted to find somebody else, but then they maybe couldn't find somebody else. So they just got Brian to come on and take that position. And then to now tell his, subordinates to, hey, boost your boss's confidence. I mean, when I first read this, I was quite shocked by it because to me, I'm like, this is not kindergarten. We're not here to gentle parenting, respectful parenting, make people feel good about themselves. This is my boss, right? Why should I make my boss feel, confident and praise them I think it's Brian's boss's job to do that.
I think also it doesn't quite inspire the confidence if you feel that your boss needs you to affirm them.
Yeah.
And it's like, it shouldn't be the other way around.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
It doesn't quite make me feel like I can trust my boss very
Yes,
much.
that's true.
But Brian's boss might have Brian's interest in mind. It certainly doesn't work out for everybody.
Okay, so now we have to have Candy's interest in mind.
Yeah.
What can Candy do? Candy may be able to just have a sit down with Brian, right? I mean, you don't have to raise up the fact that like, hey, your boss asked me to boost your confidence. Perhaps Brian is struggling because Brian is the reluctant leader here. Talk to Brian, ask, what are some of things that I can take off your plate? You know, what are some of things that you prefer that I can do rather than you do? Maybe Brian just, doesn't like to make all the decisions. So then Candy can say, well, then could you give me permission and empower me to make the smaller decisions so I don't have to always come to you with the micro decisions.
Okay. So you are trying to offload Brian's work a little bit and also get more autonomy.
Yes, that's right. Then that frees up Brian's mind to think about other things, right? And it also allows Candy to, sort of like work in the space that she's given, and she might be able to achieve better results.
Looking at helping Brian is definitely one way.
Yeah.
And also helping Candy herself, right, by asking for some responsibilities to be delegated to her.
Yes.
I also think that for Candy, maybe it's good for her to perhaps understand a bit why Brian is like that. Maybe looking at the bigger picture, was Brian forced into this situation to step up, to cover for somebody else? Does he really want to do this?
Yeah.
If there's this bigger understanding, then maybe Candy can see, can put herself in his shoes a bit more and maybe find ways to manage that relationship a bit better.
I think the other thing also Candy can also do is if Brian's boss repeats the same advice again, I think Candy needs to really just draw very clear boundaries, just to let the boss know that, no, look, it's not my job to make my boss feel appreciated.
Yes.
I can be very honest with my boss. I can help my boss, but it is really not my job to say, good job, well done, you're a very good boss. That is Brian's boss's job.
I hope there's this opportunity to tell the boss that, the way you say it doesn't help Brian.
Yeah, it's
it
true.
Really, really doesn't help Brian.
It's making me lose confidence in Brian.
Yeah, and perhaps I don't know whether the team, they feel that way as well. Maybe Candy could even lend her support to Brian by saying that, I'm behind you.
Yes.
I love what I do, and I know that you are just stepping into this role. How can I help you? Like you said,
Yes.
right? How can I help you? So that we can build this team together. I think that kind of support works better than, good job, Brian.
Yeah.
Eh,
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there is opportunity here to change the workflow a little bit. There is opportunity, so there is a glimmer of hope. I don't think that this is a situation where Candy needs to say, I quit. This is not for me. See this as an opportunity to bring Brian back to the table and say, how would you want to lead us, and how can we help you? And if Brian cannot articulate it out, Candy can actually say, okay, this is how we can do it. Maybe we can split into smaller teams, empower your teams. That way we are taking a lot of things off your plate. And, I believe that eventually you will see that he's less of a reluctant leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe there are different types of leadership styles. Not
Yes.
every leader is the assertive, communicative style. So really need to take some time to know someone. Maybe Candy and the team, they can consider going for some team building, some team building activities to get to build a new culture.
Yeah.
A new leader requires a new way of working as well. So it's all about figuring out how the team has to accommodate each other, communicate within the work scope, and then, so that they can perform.
Go and play an escape room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, if like Candy, you have a work-related dilemma, do write into us. We are at cnapodcasts@mediacorp.com.sg. This podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Me Listen, YouTube, where a video version of this is at.
I'm Gerald.
And I'm Tiffany. Remember, a bad boss can teach you something, but it's not always the way you think.